have set up an inquiry to look at this under Lord Brown. And I think higher education and education in general has suffered over the years because we give these things out to independent people to look at. We ask them to take expert evidence, we ask them to talk to the students' unions, we ask them to talk to the vice-chancellors, we ask them to talk to businesses, and we ask them to talk in general about the role of universities and graduates in the economy as a whole. And then having set that up, what politicians then tend to do is pile in, ruling things out and ruling things in. And I think our position is pretty clear on this. We've got to trust Lord Brown to do this report. We've then got to look at it, what he says. So we just leave him to get on with it at the moment. I think the most important thing, though, for students, because you're all paying fees at the moment. You're going to have to pay those fees, and you're going to have to, if you borrow the money to pay them, you're going to have to pay those loans back. The most important thing for students is that there is a vibrant economy with jobs when you graduate. I think that's the central focus. I can talk to the student audience, I can make all sorts of promises that we couldn't deliver, but the key is to get the economy going again, so that when you graduate and the people who are coming after you graduate, that there are good, well-paid jobs for you to do in the British economy here in Britain.
Yeah, that's it's interesting because I know when we started our tuition fees we paid in our first year, I think we paid 3,100, and now it's 3,225.
Yeah.
But obviously that kind of went up without the pound going up as steeply as the tuition fees did. So it's an interesting topic, and it's something that everyone seems to have an opinion of.
Yeah.
But that's an interesting take that we haven't had before from anyone else, suggesting that actually the important thing is getting a job when you finish. So it's a different viewpoint that we haven't had on this show so far. Anyway,
Good.
Definitely. But relevant to us as well, I guess.
Hello, I'm the voiceover man. And when I'm not busy voiceovering, I always listen to Harry and Liam on Nerve Radio.
This is Nerve Radio then?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't realise you did that bit at the end. Nice. So we're with Conor Burns, who that was his choice, Elvis, Suspicious Minds. Again, another sort of classic there. Now, one of the we put it out on our Facebook group and on our Twitter and all over the show, just any questions for anybody. And there was one question which kept coming in to ask all candidates, and we've asked all the others as well. And it's from Rob Conium. Says, one major problem preventing me from voting full stop is a matter of trust. He says, I simply don't trust any politician anymore. And I suppose kind of tying in with that is John Butterfield, who is the stepping down now, and you're kind of taking his kind of following his path, I suppose, for the Conservative Party. He was involved in the expenses scandal, wasn't he? Because he had a house in Surrey, which I think he said was his second home, which he was claiming for, which was a lot bigger than his flat he had in Bournemouth. And also there was, I think he was involved in the potential lobbying of asking questions for money. So I suppose in relation to the first of all, your view on the expenses scandal and what you think about that. And then secondly, I suppose, do you worry that within Bournemouth, through maybe John Butterfield, that some sort of faith might have been lost in the Conservatives slightly?
I mean, was it Rob who was asking this question?
Yeah.
Rob. If Rob is listening, Rob has put his finger on the issue of this election, and that is trust. And I think, because I'm not a member of Parliament currently, we'll see on Friday whether I ever become a member of Parliament. I was as sickened as anybody else at the culture of entitlement and greed that grew up in the House of Commons. They seem to view these expenses as an additional perk, as sort of concealed salary. I'm not getting into the specifics of what happened here. John Butterfield must answer for John Butterfield. I will answer for myself. One thing I have done immediately upon selection was move here, because I think the days where you could hope to represent an area without using the same local facilities and living genuinely embedded in the community are gone. And it was also beyond my comprehension why anybody who's selected or elected to represent Bournemouth wouldn't want to live here. It's an absolutely fantastic place to live. You know, I love every spot of Bournemouth. I think it's a fantastic place to be. I understand Rob's cynicism. I really do, because I'm hearing it on hundreds of doorsteps. And what I've tried to do, and it's interesting in talking to you, Harry, and to Liam, and to James, who's here as well, producing today, all of you have got the literature that I've been putting out. And one of the things I've put out is, I've got it in my hand here, it's a contract between me and local people about how I will behave if I'm the MP, what I will claim for and what I will not claim for. And at the core of that is the culture of the sort of MP I want to be. I want to be open, accessible, available. I want to help people. I was explaining to James here when we were off air, one of the greatest pleasures I get in the role that I have is the ability to help people who've sort of banging their head against the state bureaucracy, and to be able to use the position of candidate and hopefully as Member of Parliament to help them out. And this contract that I've published that's gone through all the doors of local homes, hold me to it. And I'd say to Rob, vote for me or don't vote for me, but if you're still here in 4 years or 5 years' time when we have another general election, or if there's a hung Parliament, if you're still here in the autumn when we have another general election, if I haven't kept to the contract that I've published, then throw me out, because I would not be worthy of your vote.
Okay, well, there's your answer, Rob.
So tempting to take up the mic there while Liam was having a little sing.
Oh gosh, okay.
The arm actions.
God, that was Meatloaf. I would do anything for love. Welcome back. We're coming up to the end of the show now with Conor Burns. We usually do this last little bit as a sort of, we throw it open to the candidate to pitch one last time to the student audience out there. Why on Thursday should they put the cross next to your name?
I hope that I've shown over the months, nearly 20 months that I've been the candidate, how much I want to be the Member of Parliament. I'm struck when I go around and knock on doors where students are living, the numbers of people who've registered who I am, who've had the newspapers, who've had the leaflets, and I would bring that same energy of the campaign to the job of being the Member of Parliament. I haven't concentrated also just with the students about student issues, because I don't believe that students vote purely on student issues. You are full citizens of our country, and you are concerned as much as anybody else about crime and antisocial behaviour, about the future prosperity of the economy and your ability to get jobs, about making sure when you do get jobs that you're not paying a very high tax burden, that you're able to keep more of the money that you earn. And I would be, I think, a champion for the student population here. It's not that long ago that I was a student myself. I represented a ward on Southampton City Council that was almost 50% comprised of students, so I know how to understand the relationship between the student community and the indigenous Bournemouth community. But I would say to every single student here, if I'm the Member of Parliament next Friday, I won't view you as students. I will view you as Bournemouth residents for the time that you're here, and you will have the same level of service and support and commitment from me as the Member of Parliament as anybody else if they've lived in Bournemouth all their lives. And I will be a champion for the university and a champion for bringing businesses to Bournemouth. I think it's fantastic, that we've just opened the Executive Business Centre at the university, which is going to try and make sure that there are jobs here in Bournemouth for Bournemouth University graduates. I want to be a real champion for our town, and I think having a university in it is an enormous boost for any town in Britain. I believe that I have the right skills, the right energy, and I believe now, with the experience I've got in previous years, now is the right time for me to become a Member of Parliament, because I am at my peak and ready to serve.